You have likely used or witnessed visual thinking without realizing that that is what you were experiencing. Have you or a colleague ever jumped up to the whiteboard to be able to explain an idea in your head? Or have you ever been at a conference listening to a keynote speaker and off to the side someone is drawing images from the talk? It's all visual thinking. Visual thinking is the use of drawing to capture, process, or communicate ideas and information quickly, often in real time. Here are two main reasons visual thinking is impactful. First, the importance of capturing and communicating ideas through visuals is indisputed. We use it regularly in our marketing content, our sales presentations, our product design, and our training materials. And here's why. Visuals make communicating ideas quicker and simpler because the brain better understands the world visually. Visuals help us comprehend ideas easier by stimulating our imagination and cognitive capabilities. Visuals stimulate emotions as they are processed in the same part of the brain and work together to create memories. Visuals garner higher engagement and live drawn images even more so. Visuals allow people to connect with abstract ideas by making them tangible on the page and relatable. Visuals and the information associated with them are more likely to be stored in long-term memory. Secondly, visual thinking allows us to create images on the spot during conversations, accelerating the speed of understanding and decision-making. Visuals created for marketing and sales and training are often high-polished graphics created through an iterative process of feedback and revision, which is impractical for in-person, on-the-spot, synchronous conversation. In comparison, visual thinking is fast-paced, versatile, functional, and even at its messiest can help leaders and teams excel. Unfortunately, the skills developed to create amazing, high-polished graphics don't translate directly to visual thinking. Nearly every human being has the ability to read visuals because it's our brain's first language. Children have an inherent ability to draw images, but rather than developing their capability to draw images and icons, we focus it into drawing sounds in the form of words. But if we can learn to use images and words together, we can work with more information in a shorter amount of time. So how can you use visual thinking in your work? Well, if we continue to think about visuals as a language, you wouldn't ask, how will I use my English in my work? Or how would I use my Spanish in my work? You're going to use it in everything that you do. Visuals are the best way that our brains process and consume information, and we can use it in nearly as many ways as we use language. Let's look at specific ways visual thinking can be used in your business, and we'll categorize them in three ways: consuming information, processing information, and communicating information. Let's start with communicating information. Let's start with the most common place you've likely seen visual thinking, and that's in a meeting or boardroom where someone jumps out of their seat up to the whiteboard to visually communicate the point they're trying to make. This is the situation in which even the smallest amount of visual thinking can be put into use publicly. If this is you, you've also likely been the one at a restaurant to grab a pen and a napkin to scribble down an idea. Professional visual thinkers often provide services to businesses at events called graphic recording or sketchnoting. Here's what that looks like. A subject matter expert stands up on a stage and presents information or new findings to an audience of people, whether that's a large keynote or a small breakout group. In the case of graphic recording, a visual thinker might be up on the stage with them or off to the side with a large board in which they're drawing images and shapes and words that are filtering what's being said from the speaker into a more compact visual. For sketchnoting, instead of being up in front and visible to everybody, they may be at the back of the room, sitting in the audience and working in a smaller format on a notebook or a digital device. The large board created by the graphic recorder can benefit the audience by giving them something to take a picture of and hold on to and reference when thinking back to the speaker. The sketch note can also be a referential document for attendees to look back on the talk, but it can also be a quicker and easier format to get out for sharing on social media. Visuals in marketing, sales, and training are often about communicating information to others. So next, let's talk about capturing or consuming information. Many meetings benefit from note-taking to capture dates and tasks and accountabilities. When you take notes visually, it can help you not only better understand what's being said and organize it in your mind, but it helps you remember it later. These images and notes may be more beneficial for your colleagues who are attending the meeting as well. This can be like sketchnoting, but doesn't have to be as polished. Individuals can use visual note-taking to consume the books that they're reading or listening to, or podcasts or speakers that they listen to. When you draw your own images and take your own notes, the information sticks even more firmly in your mind than if you were to receive visuals or notes from somebody else. A client discovery meeting or a kickoff to a new project is a crucial time to make a big impression and ensure that all of the information gathered is disseminated to everyone who touches the project. Capturing these conversations visually adds a unique customer experience and creates an artifact that everyone can refer back to later. Project feedback meetings are another place that visual thinking shines. Specifically, a visual facilitator, someone who can guide the conversation and either draws or has somebody who draws with them, allowing everyone to participate, offer their feedback, and feel like their perspective or insights are weighed evenly. Lastly, let's talk about processing information. This is important if you've captured information from multiple sources and you want to synthesize it. You need to understand it, innovate from it, build off it, and even communicate it. Using visual thinking and ideation may bring to mind Leonardo da Vinci and his multitudes of drawings from human anatomy to flying machines. We have a hypothesis. We draw it out so we can look at it from afar. We pull it apart and improve on it. This is the early stage of a prototype before blueprints or schematics. Visual sorting is about combating information overload or analysis paralysis when we have crucial decisions that need to be made. Visual thinking is about stepping out of the chaos and being able to start pulling some things out and pinning them down and creating order. Process mapping can be performed by an individual or can be visually facilitated when designed by a group. It allows us to look at the complexity of a system, the inputs, the outputs, the outcomes, and what questions that we need to answer next. There are so many ways that visual thinking can be used in your organization from the top to the bottom. It allows you and your teams to better consume, process, and communicate information to align quickly in an ever-changing world.